It's me and the brewmeister. Look at him down there. Searching for the truth, mateys. How y'all doing out there today? So, a couple of things going on. First off, the government shutdown. The government did not shut down if the Federal Reserve is still stealing money from your taxes. And I'd like to just quickly go over the problem with the Federal Reserve once more, which people seemingly have forgotten about in the truth movement, because no one talks about the Federal Reserve. I thought if we elected Trump and Elon Musk, they were going to shut down government fraud and scams, yet the biggest fraud in the history of the planet, the biggest scam ever, the Federal Reserve, is still there, stealing money out of all of our paychecks. And it's like this: why should a bunch of private central bankers be allowed to print our money, charge interest on that money they print out of thin air, that they should have no right to print themselves? And oh my God, is that the John Podesta van? There it is. It's just John Podesta's new van. And up, it's Space Force Mobile Command. There it is, I found it. God, there's some old shitty vehicles back here. Look at this thing. What the fuck did you do to your car and why? Why would you pick that shade of green, ever? It's the worst color. It's like puke. Yes, I like puke green for my car, please. Anyways. Just out for a Brutus walk and bitching about the Federal Reserve. So I was trying to explain this to someone the other day, which is the biggest problem in this country is the Federal Reserve. You can look at any one of these individual problems and they all kind of tie back to that. If you look at the inflation problem, well, who causes inflation other than the Federal Reserve? Nobody. Because it's just about the increase in the size of the money supply, which is 100% them. And I just saw on the news recently, they're going to lower interest rates. Well, there should be no interest rate to a private central bank for our own money. I mean, these people are taking trillions of dollars a year in the interest payment we have to pay to them so that the country doesn't default, which is insane, because we shouldn't be borrowing money from anyone. That should be money we print for free, and then all of the money that we get for letting other countries use the US dollar should go to the American taxpayer, not to some private central banker, so they can continue to fund wars and buy off politicians. I mean, where do you think AIPAC gets all of its money? These people are all in the banking institutions that are fucking up the whole planet continuously, right? And if you look at anything like even the Epstein ring, well, who allowed all of the finances to go through? Oh, JP Morgan Chase. Who did Epstein come out of? Bear Stearns. All these banking cartel institutions involved with that. Deutsche Bank. All of this nonsense. Have them faced any consequences for this stuff? No. You don't hear the Democrats out there calling for JP Morgan Chase to get repercussions for literally financing and allowing the Epstein ring to go on for years. No, instead they're allowed to get fined, no one goes to jail, and all of the clientele that the money was being transferred around from, all that seems to have disappeared in the records of JP Morgan Chase somewhere and Deutsche Bank. And then the FBI gets to come out here and go, oh, well, there is no client list. Well, there is, and you know where it is. It's all in the banks. The money had to move around. They have records of it all because they would. And you've done nothing to arrest any of those people. So if you gave this country back the trillions of dollars a year, I mean, people get mad that Israel gets like a couple billion a year. How many trillions of dollars have we given to the Federal Reserve for the right of printing our money so that we have money to use every day, which is insane. That should never have been a thing. It should never be a thing. You could end homelessness in this country. You could end all these problems that are going on in this country. The roads falling apart, the bridges falling down, all of our critical infrastructure just complete shit. You could fund all these stupid space programs you wanted to fund. You know, we could have enforced freedom and spread democracy by force. You know, managed democracy to the vast universe and protected super Earth if we had just not given all our money to a bunch of little grimy bankers, right? We could be blowing up other planets and killing exotic space creatures right now. But no, instead we're just killing children in Gaza instead. Like, that's somehow more fun than killing space bugs or something else. I mean, there's always something to blow up is my point. We don't have to be blowing up other fellow humans. Just, yeah, it all goes to whatever the fuck these guys want to pay for anyways. So it goes to either that or it goes to whatever else. So also what was going on, I did a interview with a dude that has like a huge YouTube channel recently. So one of my fans reached out to me and I didn't know he was a big YouTuber. I was just kind of conversing with him and he was like, oh, hey dude, I have a big YouTube channel. Would you like to do an interview? So this guy, Ollie B, had me on to talk about all this stuff, like the Epstein documentary and these other things. So if you guys are interested in that, you guys go see Ollie B on YouTube. And that was like a really good interview. We went over quite a bit in that, like everything from the Cicada 3301 stuff to the Isaac Cappy stuff to the Epstein stuff to all those kinds of things were covered in that interview. There was also a Grogu hidden in there for some fucking reason. Spotted. Anyways, we're going up here now past all of this. This is what you guys pay for with your taxes, by the way. This is all government subsidized housing up here. I don't know who lives up here, but it's all like taxpayer paid for housing at the top of this hill up here. I hope you're all doing well. These people, a lot of them I think are probably illegal immigrants or very elderly, and they are all living here on Cape Cod in these wonderful apartments that you all pay for probably, and I pay for with my taxes. Isn't that fun? But hey, we're not living in a communist state run by a bunch of private central banks, right? Yeah, government does ruin pretty much everything. That's because the government is completely corrupt and way too big. The size of the government has gotten insane. They're involved in things they have nothing to do with. Also, what's been going on? There is a very, very funny video done by this dude, Podawful. And every year he does like this Halloween special thing. So this year they did like Awfulween, Red Rooms Part 2, which was very, very funny. And it was like a 8-month long catfish of this dude, Comedy Shaman. And it was just so funny. Like, you have to go watch this. It's one of the funniest things I've seen in quite a while. Absolutely hilarious. They convinced this comedy dude that like Podawful's actually running a cult and they're actually like forcing cult members to like the red rooms, and there's this whole Rainbow Omega thing. It's unbelievably funny. Very, very, very well done. Highly recommend. So if you're looking for content to watch, go watch my interview with Ollie B. And then when you're done with that and you have time to sit down and actually watch something, go sit down and watch the Podawful Red Rooms 2. Like, you got to sit down and actually watch it, though. It's not something you want to just listen on background play. You want to go... You might want to get a little familiar with the whole Comedy Shaman thing first because it adds to it. like knowing the whole backstory, but it's very, very funny stuff. It's probably the funniest thing I've seen since last year's Awfulween special. So the best comedy now is on YouTube or in memes and things like that. So I will be bringing back Meme Wars soon, which will be first for you guys on this channel. You're like, Meme Wars, what the hell is that? Well, I do a meme show where I gather the best, most despicable memes I can find on the internet. I compile the video ones into like a video montage at the beginning. It normally goes somewhere like 20 minutes or so. And then I go over and do all the picture memes at the end of the show. It was fairly popular with my audience, but I lost that channel, and I lost the Meme Wars channel and the Replay channel. They're all gone. So all those old Meme Wars episodes are now only on like Odyssey, BitChute, Rumble, those types of platforms where you can find me on all those. And I would suggest before they delete this channel that if you guys are interested in my content, that you go and subscribe to at least one alternate platform like Rumble, so that when they do ban me again, because you know it's coming, I don't know when, I don't know why, but for some reason they will take down my content again at some point. So if you don't want to like miss out on all the stuff I do, then go over to Rumble or Odyssey or BitChute, look up Titus Frost, and you should be able to find me. Or go to hive.blog/@TitusFrost, and you can find my blog with all the stuff I do on Hive and on Blurt. And that way you can get all the links from there. That has all the past episodes, has all the stuff from the past on there, all the show notes, all the links. If you ever want to make your own documentary, you could go to all my show notes and use all my show notes to compile your own film very easily without having to do much research of your own. I mean, that's how I put together that gigantic Epstein documentary. I went through all my old show notes and took out all of the best pieces of evidence from the last couple of years of shows and put it all into that Epstein documentary that's now on this channel. I have another big documentary I did about a year or so ago, going over the Belt and Road Wars, which is this whole move from America and the West being like the center of power to the bankers shifting that power to the East, not to make China and Russia more powerful than the West, but to make it an equal power so they can have a never-ending war as described in 1984, which is when war becomes never-ending, it's no longer a war against a foreign adversary. It's a war against the people itself. It's a war against the governed, right? And that's what's been going on now. All these weapons of war eventually come back and are used against us, the citizens. And it's got to like be identified. It's the new fake left-right paradigm, except it's on a geopolitical scale. And the idea is to take all the trade that goes from America away and have it go directly from China to Europe and make Israel the new center point of trade and technology for Eurasia, right? And just cut America out and isolate the United States away by itself. That's what's going on. That's the big bankers' next geopolitical move, and that's why they're cleansing out Gaza, because Israel is going to become this big centerpiece of Eurasia, and they need to have all of the space and infrastructure in place, like a new canal and these other things put in Israel. And to do that, they need to take Palestine. So that's why you have the Greater Israel Project moving forward so rapidly now, is because they're trying to establish this new Belt and Road Initiative. And things like the Ukraine war have put giant blockages in that. Like the Ukraine war was not something I think the central bankers really wanted, because they were trying to, or maybe they did, and they wanted an expensive and fun way to destroy the infrastructure of Ukraine so they could rebuild it with big banker loans. That's probably what they really wanted. Now that I think about it again, this is an endless war in Ukraine, so they can just spend a whole bunch of your money on blowing shit up and then get a bunch of big loans so the big bankers can make money off not only the blowing up of Ukraine, but also the rebuilding of it afterwards. And then they can build in the new Belt and Road infrastructure. So anyways, I'll try to put that documentary up here as well. But definitely go check out the interview, check out the Red Rooms, and stay tuned. I'll be back soon. Peace, everyone.